the FNL Network Talkshow.
Hello everyone, welcome to the FNL Talkshow. Today I am your host Odair Pereira and I'm with the amazing Holy, Eugenia and Geoffrey to do a talk show with you guys. How is everyone doing?
Doing well.
Hi Holly, hi Eugenia, how are you guys doing?
So good. Just finished Fashion Week in Los Angeles and FNL was covering it. So I've seen Rocco and amazing collections downtown. I think it's so important to stay creative and, inspired in this time. So yeah, I was very excited. I haven't slept.
You haven't slept, but you look amazing. Did you see a piece that you would like to have down the runway?
I love to play with fashion. It's not one piece that I would say like, oh, I choose this piece over the other piece. It really goes with the mood, right? And that's what's fun about fashion is we can communicate. It's a tool of communication. So, it was amazing to see that way every designer kind of translates their message through clothes.
Yeah, that's so true. I always say that they always say music is a language, but fashion is also a language. Art is a language. Creativity is a language. That's amazing to see how it translates to every personality and every person. Amazing. And the fashion week is already finished, right?
Yeah, it was last night yesterday, so we haven't finished until like 2 a.m. So I'm like,
it was a late night. Okay, amazing. I'm glad to have you guys here with me. We're going to start with the topics for today. The first one, there is a war going on between Palestine and Israel. What would you do to have this to stop? Because it's such a big thing. It's a serious thing. A lot of innocent people are getting hurt and killed. And sometimes we feel so without power in doing anything in these types of situations that are so major. So I would like to hear your point of view about that. I would start with you, Holy.
I knew it was, I felt it coming, Odair. Thank you for asking. It's such a really, really great question. I try not to get too political. I won't go into politics because everything always kind of goes back to that. And we all have our different views and we're all, but here's the truth. We're all so divided right now. And this division is really causing problems. But you didn't ask that. You didn't ask that. You asked what would we do? What would be the change in the midst of this? So I discussed the problem. The problem is division. The solution to that is honestly just simply more accountability. The solution would be accountability everywhere, accountability to our budget and weaponry, accountability to from leaders, accountability everywhere and in all accounts. We still don't know half of what is going on, and guess what? That's on purpose. Everyone in this call pretty much knows what I'm saying in that, without saying a lot. You never hear what's really going on in the media. Nobody ever really tells you the truth. We never see certain videos, and we're not meant to see certain videos and certain examples of what's really going on, our current issues. But guess what? Our current issues don't entail war. Our current issues are famine and babies and neglect and abandonment and abuse and things. They're really making us. The media is making us pay attention to the wrong things right now. The right things right now are what we can do to fix things, prevent abuse, prevent hunger, prevent things everywhere. And accountability really is a start. That would really be a start, that in my opinion, because it's not more war. It's not more violence. No. You don't spread that. True. You spread accountability. What are you spending this on? What are you doing there? Who said this in what meeting? And continue on. So that's how I feel.
Yes, I understand. And the thing as well is that we always the history have told us that this is not the solution. Why don't we listen more to each other? Why don't we try to sit down and hear each other out? Where's the humanity in things? Where's the respect in things? And there's always innocent people who get hurt in this situation and who get blamed in this situation. And that's something that's just annoying to see. Geoffrey, what's your opinion about this?
I think it's really unique what your topic, because I just spoke before I read the topics and everything. So I got up and I talked
Mhm.
about, are we helping ourselves? Are we helping each other? I feel like there's so much division, just like Holly said, but there's no love. No one is helping each other. We're not helpers to one another. We're so
True.
busy focusing on
Yes.
um, your own personal agenda that you don't reach your hand out when you see someone falling and pick them up and encourage and build them up. I think everybody's just doing their own thing, and it's like a domino effect. It's like it starts from the hierarchy. It always starts from the top, and it trickles down to the people. So the people are only mimicking what they're saying that hierarchy doing. So I feel like if you can reach the hierarchy and get to them and tell them, okay, y'all need to come on a mutual agreement and communicate, because if they probably sit down and really talk, they won't even understand why they're at war with each other. I think
True.
it's an ongoing thing that has been going on for years, and no one's just stood in the gap and say, okay, let's just cease as a leader. Let's stop this. Let's think and communicate with each other, and let's change it, because just like you said, innocent people are getting killed, and it's not right. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah.
You need to show
Yeah.
some
I
love.
totally understand.
Not enough love
I
in the
totally
earth.
understand this too.
So much hatred.
And
Hatred. War is hatred. It is what it is.
yeah, it's true. And it starts also with everyone trying to always think for yourself. Okay, what's my opinion is in this? Because we are every day with social media and everything, you get so much information, and at the same time, you don't get nothing, because like Holy said, the most important things you don't know, the real story, the real facts you don't know. And it starts with coming back to humanity, of being, who am I, what do I believe in, how do I want to be treated, how can I treat others in a respectful way. Those are all things that I think are included in what gets us to these situations. But because like you said, most of the time, if they don't talk correctly, they don't even know where it exactly started and triggered this big thing to happen. And how do you think about this, Eugenia?
Um, well, to add to everything that you said, I don't think there's an easy or one word, or like we wouldn't cover it, in an hour, the solution to that. I always believe that the way you act, live as you act, So I believe you can always blame the outside world, but being accountable for what you do when nobody sees that, it starts from there. Especially people that
True.
you don't know or who can not do anything back to you. It goes really to the basics of that. And I think every, action has a consequence. And what's happening in the world is just a result of all the actions that we took as a humanity over the course of our evolution. And here we are. So where you go from now is you go back to the basic. And I think it's almost like cancer, that's hidden for so long, but it does come out, and it has to be acknowledged and dealt with straight away. And just getting back to, being healthy again as
Yes.
human spirit.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
think
You've
what
put
you
it.
just I think what Eugenia said, because it's not just, in my opinion, I think it's not just the war that's going on right now. It's a war all over the world, and
Oh,
nobody's sitting down and trying to change it. It's just crazy. It's just like a domino effect. And like Eugenia said, I feel like it's stuff that has been going on for years, and now it's just surfacing in the open where everybody can actually see it, and it just blows people's mind. Like, I think people are changing. The heart posture has to change. Like, the heart
yeah,
needs to change the way that
yeah,
people are moving so they can think differently. And that's just my opinion on that. It just does
yes,
something for me when I see that innocent
yes,
people are getting hurt. It's just unfair. Like, you can do more with love than hatred. Like, hatred turns people away from you. Love draws people. And it just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Because I'm dealing with these students now in last week, and I've been helping them. I don't know if it's really touching me, but that love Hester has really been a strong pull in the last 2 weeks with me and helping other people. It's really gave me extra joy in my spirit, just reaching out to
Mhm.
help somebody and not versus always feeling like ostracizing or pushing people off in the corner because you don't like them and getting a certain group of people to dislike a certain group of people. That's to me is just crazy. Like, what are you
Yeah.
getting out?
What are you getting out of it? That's exactly what I was thinking as well. I also saw a sign because there's been a lot of protests throughout the world about this war, and I saw a sign, someone saying it's so unfair that there needs to be so many protests just to get attention for innocent people dying. Innocent people dying on its own is it's such a problem that we sit by it and see that, and that people are doing this to each other, and not from today, not from yesterday, but as in forever. And it has always resulted in pain. So why are we still doing this? Why are we nowadays still at this point not seeing that a war is not the solution for anything but anything at all? And that's just sad to see. And I don't know what your opinion is about it, but now with social media, that is such a big platform, do you think it has a positive or a negative spin when it comes to these types of topics?
It's both. I feel like it's both.
Both.
I think you just have to be
Mm-hmm.
careful on going onto certain platforms, like because everything it's about you everything's about you getting on the platform and you seeing me, see me.
Yeah,
I'm the next great thing,
yeah,
and it's not about getting up there and
yeah,
not focusing on you, but focusing on other people. Because I always say that if you're really a genuine person, regardless of what platform you're on, it's going to show. It's going to come forth. People are going to see the fruit. You don't
yeah,
have to prove yourself to anybody. Just be yourself. And it's enough of the people getting up and
yeah,
creating these fake platforms of who they want to be or celebrity. They're the celebrity this or they're the celebrity that. But the real genuine person needs to come forth because people can receive that and people feel that in their spirit when you're coming from a genuine place in your life. So I think it's both. It just
yeah,
depends on how you perceive it, how you as a person come forth on that platform, if it's a good or a bad. That's my opinion on
yeah. Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, and I also find it also very important to begin at yourself, like Eugenia said, taking accountability in how you act and how your behavior is. For example, for me, I find it very important to greet everyone, even though I don't know you. When I'm walking down the street and we make eye contact, I make it the thing to smile or to do a head nod or to say good morning, good afternoon, or good night, because you never know what the opposite person is going through, how his or her day was or is. And maybe that one hello can make a life-changing experience for that person, because nowadays we are struggling with a lot, and that is what we are seeing. That's reflecting on with what we are seeing on social media and all those types of things. So that is how you explain it. It's very important and very well said as well. Thank you guys for sharing your opinion about that. I'm going to go to the second topic, that is about a teenager, Armita Geravand, brain dead after an attack by morality police in the subway in Iran earlier this month. Did you guys hear about this?
it.
She was attacked by the police for not wearing a headscarf, which is mandatory, and they actually uh, gave her a lot of hurt on her head. So she got into a coma, and now since today, I believe she has been announced that she's brain dead. So this cost her life, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
that's something so sad to read, because once again we are talking about a topic that is about violence, that is about taking an innocent person's life, and that that just breaks my heart. And I would like to know what your thoughts are about that. What could be a solution in this? What could have been what could have been done differently to not letting this happen? I'm going
Well,
to start with
yeah,
Oh,
thank
yes.
you. I feel like I'm so angry right now. Uh, like, it's so, because we can talk about it forever. But the thing is, we read all this news and a lot of people get desensitized, it's just everywhere, right and left.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, it just makes me really angry. I work with a lot of anti-human trafficking organizations, do everything I can with entertainment to support that, but it's just never enough. And just this cultures and religions, I feel that they're very outdated in that sense. I respect every religion. I respect, the positives of that. But I feel like at this point, or some religions specifically use that as a tool to, patriarchy in this specific case, which I've been fighting
Yes.
all life. It's a system that created all wars. It's a system of control, possession, subtraction. It's not a religion of expansion and love and peace. It's the opposite of that.
It's
And
the opposite.
yeah, I mean, I've been fighting patriarchy just by personal example since forever. And it's not an easy journey. And it's literally, I was talking to my therapist, like a spiritual war out there, but what can you do? Again, be the example, be an example of what you want to see outside of yourself. So I feel, they say, if you meditate and then you put 100 people to meditate and have an intention, that has an effect. So start from there. You can't go and save every person. It's really heartbreaking. But to start, you have to start from the heart. And that's where all the solutions come from.
Yeah, starting from the heart. Exactly that. Because
I have my daughter, I grew up in a very patriarchal culture in Russia. It's something, that you fight a silent war a lot of times.
yeah, yeah, and there's nothing more dangerous than a silent war, because that's the one that you don't, it's unpredictable. You don't know or in which phase you are. You don't know who is your enemy in those times, or most of the times. So those are the things that often that scary, that I get scared of, because when I read about this situation, I was like, once again, somebody's life is taken for something. What have you gained from this? What have you won from this? Who has won from this? Who has gotten better from this? Nobody. Nobody. Had you sit with her, had you explained why you believe she needs to wear a headscarf, and you talked on a normal level with the right energy, with the right respect, maybe she would have understood, or maybe not. But then you would agree to disagree. And sometimes people are so stuck in what they believe in and what they think and what it's right and it's wrong, that it's not clear anymore what's right or wrong, because there's not only one right or wrong. What's wrong for me could be right for you, because you are a different person, a different path, a different experience, a different lifestyle. So those things are the things that I see that is very, we're too black or white. No, it's this or it's that. No, there can be an in between. But let's sit and let's talk about it and see what comes out of that. What's your opinion about this, Holy?
I love what you said, Odair. I love what you said about, sitting down with her and discussing it with her, because years back, before the women's movement and before the burn your bra type of movement, women didn't have a voice, type of thing. And so I just think that because we're living in that day and age, it's absolutely appropriate to tell her, to sit down and tell her, why are you wearing a garb now? I mean, type of thing. I mean, you have to make sure that somebody is aware of their limitations, but also knows why, understands it, that sort of thing. I think that's very important. I'm going to agree with Eugenia on this. I have a little bit more different perspective on things, because I came from a very, like, a chauvinistic sort of, like, I mean, I've been in the city my entire life, but a little bit of my life was in the country, and so and as such, I mean, the legal system you will be so surprised. I mean, people have badges and things and are in the places of authority that should never be in. And it's crazy because the legal system and the world system is so masculine and machismo and chauvinistic and things like that. I mean, I completely agree with you, Jenny. I mean, I'm not going to go, very much into my story, but it's one of those things. I have similar perspective to her on that, as far as, boxing a woman in and telling a person the pressures of everything, and telling a woman what they should and shouldn't wear, telling them that they belong at home, attending to their husband and attending to, their children, things like that. I mean, and there are balances. I believe in homemakers, but I also believe in business women and powerful women and things like that. I mean, I believe in the balance of it all. I will say this: I was also raised where you kind of abide by the law of the land at times, and I'm not agreeing with that culture necessarily, but I'm not against that culture either. I mean, what if they say to do a certain thing, and that's been in power for time and time again. You have to obey certain laws of the land. You really do. Now, if it hurts somebody, you actually have to approach that. You really do. You have to examine and approach it, because no one needs to be hurt. No one needs to feel hurt by a legal system. No one needs to feel that at that point, it's just hurting people. It needs to stop. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what Eugenia is saying, and the balance of it, and the center points of that, respect a woman, but also respect the laws of the land, but also respect and honor a culture enough to say, this is how it is, but hey, there's a solution in the midst of this, and kind of come together, and that word accountability again, and to form an understanding, but also form a way around that where you can actually better a situation. So,
Yeah, well put. Well put. I agree with what you're saying, especially with the part of creating balance, and that not everyone can that's awful that someone is getting hurt. If someone is hurt, that's the moment that you need to discuss it and go to the topic and see what is there, what's the situation that's creating this, and how can we solve this and get through a better place together, and not only looking at the rules and the laws, and no, it's this, and this is how we need to go, this is how it's supposed to be, and we have to go like this. So I totally agree with what you guys are saying about this topic. Well put. We're going to go to the next one. And we are talking about this. It has been coming throughout the other topics about communication. How is your relationship with communication? And how do you develop it so that you don't have miscommunication or disappointments? I'm going to start with you, Geoffrey.
Well, take it again. I was talking today about wisdom, and is key knowledge, and getting understanding. So if you don't understand a particular language, so that you can communicate effective with people, you need to research that. If you don't know what is being communicated, maybe just need to sit back and not speak until you hear everything that's being said, because sometimes
Yeah.
we can speak too quickly and miss the communication. So I think it's just a person sitting back and really observing another person, or you learning from your own mistakes, how you can better. I think it all starts with you, the person. I always, when I pray, I always say, I don't want to analyze the other person. I want to analyze me, so I can be a better person and be more effective to be able to communicate with the next person better. I think when we look at ourselves and how we're communicating with people, I think it would change. But we want to point fingers to
Yes.
other people. And that's how I always analyze things, like, what could I have done better in communicating to be more effective so that person could understand me? If they don't understand you and they still kind of rebuttaling and y'all still not, then you get a mediator, or you just step away from that situation, let their opinion be their opinion and your opinion be yours, and keep it moving. So that's my opinion
And
about
keep it
communication.
moving. And actually, what you're saying is right. That's exactly how I do it as well. I always try to communication. The reason why I brought this topic up is because I have learned throughout this year that communication is something so powerful, and we have to check ourselves in, okay, what are we expecting? Because that's where it's starting. When you're communicating, what are the expectations? Let's try to erase those expectations and just communicate what we want to say, and then give the other one the space to bring in their part without you throwing on your expectations on them. So that's something that I have learned throughout the years as well, but also the part of, okay, how could I put this in a different way that translate to the person? Who's the person I'm talking to? Who is the group I'm talking to? Is it clear who the group is that I'm talking to? Because sometimes you do communication through social media. You don't know who is seeing it, who, how they get it in, and all those types of stuff. And taking away that part of expectations has created a deeper level of how to communicate for me personally. And I like to communicate in a way that people can take it in. So then you have to have space for that person. And space means you have to be able to let them react in the way that they would like to react. And maybe that's not the way that you would like to receive it, because you didn't attend that, but that's very important and sometimes also very difficult to get in. Well, what's your opinion about that, Eugenia?
The most skill that I feel we're lacking as a society is listening. It's like deep listening. There are different kind of listening, but now with all the scrolling and the news, it's so overwhelming, and I feel the attention spam is just next level missing. Plus, the kids, they like, you open, my friend who's a PR, she said she was writing an article about a kid who was terrified to talk to a delivery guy because he's just always on the, on the phone. So just communicating to that point, you know what I mean? I think having kids now, they do struggle. It's all through online, and, pandemic didn't help. People wearing masks, I understand, but that's also, it's a challenge in communication in a way because we can't see the full face. So I feel that's a little bit of created a lot of problems, especially for younger kids. I know that they have hard time recognizing faces now. Filters distorted our reality. Oh, I can go very dark and dark deep hole.
Yeah, but
So
what
do
you're
you think
saying
that's what they're
is,
doing?
Huh?
I need to cut across you because Eugenia brought a serious point. Do you feel like that's what they're doing with us wearing the mask is separated communication and people can't really understand another person? Because that is crazy. Like wearing that mask again, I can't.
Oh,
I don't want to
Eugenia opened up
experience.
a can of worms now.
I know.
I can't
Sorry.
experience
I don't know. I'm canceled because I'm Russian, so I don't really care.
but for me, just to be clear, because I'm in the Netherlands, in Europe, in America, everyone is wearing masks again.
They're starting. They're starting to.
Yes, okay. And what
Half
is the
and half.
reason? Sorry, what did you say, Holly?
I say half and half, and it's mostly the people right now that are ill. It's not everyone overall. It's people. It's kind of a guard now for yeah.
Oh, okay, I understand. I understand. Okay, clear.
Yeah, but
But I interrupt.
there is so much communication through kindness and loving kindness and forgiveness and just plain listening. I feel like we all have this thought that we have so much to say, but it's so much more important to receive sometimes.
I love
Yes,
you,
yes,
Eugenia.
yes. I like it
You
too. I
just be
like it too. And
coming
that's,
with
yes, but what she said is very important. Listening. Sometimes I've noticed I've been in situations where people give me feedback, and they say you took it well, and then I'm curious to know, okay, but what did I do that came across that I took it well? And for me, what I often do is when they're giving me feedback, I erase myself. I listen to what they are actually saying, and I don't take it personally at that moment. I just listen to the facts that they are giving me, but because that's very valuable information for me to receive and also for my growth, it could mean a lot. And then I try to take the feedback as one thing and me personal being the other thing. And then you are more able, and try not to interrupt someone. Let them talk, let them get the chance to say what they need to say, and make sure that they know that you are listening, that you see them, and that you are aware of what they are telling you. And then from there on, you get a totally different energy in how you guys are communicating, because I don't need to defend myself, because I'm taking the information in and I'm not taking it personally. You don't need to defend yourself because you think I don't listen and I am not taking it in. And then you come in a common ground when you discuss everything. And that's something what I often try to do, ook when I teach classes and all those things. Often I come in classes to talk about a problem that's a problem between the teacher and the students. And 9.5 of the 10 times, it's about not listening to each other, not taking each other seriously, not seeing each other, not being respectful to each other's problems. And the only thing that I do, I come in into the class, and after 20 to 25 minutes, I get the students to talk. And the teacher says, how did you do that? I said, I always say I didn't do a lot. The only thing that I did is show them my respect and listen to them. I'm not higher than them, I'm not lower than them, we're on the same level.
Mm,
We're both
mm,
human. It doesn't
Mhm.
care if they are 17 and I'm 35. That doesn't matter. If they are 14 and I'm 35, it doesn't matter. We're equal. Age is just a number. I'm listening to what they're saying because they have something to tell me. So
mm.
why wouldn't I take that in?
One,
And that's for me is important. Yes, Holly.
and also the five love languages too by Gary Chapman, that book, the love languages. I mean, I when I was younger, I didn't listen really, well. I was the
Mm-hmm.
type of person, I was very grounded in the way I was raised, thankfully. My the person that raised me, they literally had to say, now what did I say, type of thing. And then they had a great gift at communication. So without them, I don't think I would communicate as half well, because sometimes you got to face your consequences. If you talk over someone, or if you listen too much, it's that balance again. If you listen too much, then you'll be known as the listener that doesn't really have a voice, that doesn't really talk a lot. And so then people really won't listen to anything that you have to say, because they kind of won't remember the bullet points and the thesis of that, the inf of it, the heart of it. But then whenever you talk too much, people just kind of scatter, and you're like, where did everybody go? And you're just like, you talk too much, that's why, type of thing. But then
Yep.
it can translate and cross over, because then you can meet with somebody and you can listen to them, and they can be a talker, but the only reason they even talk to you was because their love language was quality time. So they're giving you their quality time. You talk to another person, they might really like you, but because you didn't touch them, and one of their love language is physical touch, they didn't the walls didn't go down as quickly. They'll still listen to you, but it won't be as effective. So that's one of my, oh, that's one of my, that's one of the things that I've overcome in my mountains of life of communication, is by Gary Chapman, the five love languages, because you got to study people. You got to study. Relationships take so much work, and you have to study
Yep.
people. If you're want to be close to somebody, and their physical touch, you got to be physical with them. And I'm like, when I was younger, I still do it now. I'm like, eek, type of thing. But
Yep.
so
That's actually a very good point over there, because you have those five topics that you are discussing, the five language, and that's very important because everyone is different, and you get so much information by knowing which type of person or group or audience you are talking to, and knowing how to translate your information through them, because sometimes you're saying something and you're saying it loud and clear, but if it's not in the same language, they are not hearing it. You're saying the words, but they are not hearing it, and that's a very important point right there. Thank you for sharing that with us. Communication is key. That's the thing. It's key to everything. So we have to keep developing, and we have to keep talking and taking our heads out of the phones, and more communication towards each other. Which brings us to the last topic of today. It's Halloween season. And I'm very curious to know, do you guys celebrate Halloween? And how does your costume take place? Do you create it yourself? Do you buy it? Do you even have a costume, or do you don't like that? How is your Halloween season? How do you celebrate that? I'm gonna start with Geoffrey this time.
Okay, so I celebrate mine. I love giving to the kids, but as
Yes.
far as the crazy gobbling, crazy monster type look, I don't do that. I spend most of my time. I go to the church and we do the trunk or treats, and we give to the kids. We just want them to be safe. So that's my enjoyment, that the kids are in a safe environment and the candy is not spiked or razor blades like back in the days. Used to put stuffing. Oh my God, it was just hilarious. So yeah, that's how I celebrate my Halloween. I do like to dress up. You
And what
always
has been the last
I always
costume
put
you
on a
did?
mask for that season and wear it for a night. So yeah, I love that part. Yeah, to be
And what
whatever.
has been the last costume that you did? The last
It's been
costume
a
that you did?
minute. It has been a minute since I did a costume, but this year I might do something. I might step out my comfort zone. I'm trying to step out my comfort zone, y'all.
Okay, okay. Share
I
it with
listen to
us. I
what
want to
Holly
see what you did. I want to
I
know
listen to
too.
what Holly said. It said, "Don't be so quiet," because I'm very shy and I won't say much. So when people hear me speak now, they're just like, "You're talking."
Not
Like,
you.
it was like,
Yeah.
okay. So they just like, so I gotta create a balance. I'm trying to create a balance, and yeah, I'm happier, y'all.
Nice.
Created that balance.
Nice. And what about you, Eugenia? Do you celebrate Halloween?
Well, Jeffrey brought such a beautiful topic, like kids, I feel my kids when they were a little smaller, I just love the joy, of them getting all this candy. It's not about the candy, but just, going trick-or-treating and celebrating and having fun with like expressing themselves creatively. Halloween is something I didn't grow up with. So for me, it was shocking when I first came to New York, and I think I came before Halloween. And the next day there was like this parade of people dressed, and that scared the hell out of me. I was like, it's like this
What
all
is that?
death and like all this, I mean, it's such a fascinating holiday, right? But then, I love the warmth of it. I got in love with like pumpkin patches and taking my kids there when they were small, and pumpkin latte, as much as everybody hates it and like says it's a cliche, I love it. Just the smell of it, passing Starbucks on that time, it just creates memories. I think all those things are beautiful, and it's a way to connect as well. I love those sides of Halloween, like not the dark, and it's also, we're kind of celebrating our shadows, because you dress up as something that you're not allowed yourself maybe to dress up. I think it's very interesting psychologically to think about it, you
Yeah.
know, kind of like, okay, you dress as an angel, who are you in real life?
Ah, true, true. That's something to think about. And do you do the dress up part as well? What has been your last costume that you did? Did you do one?
My last costume. Yeah, so my husband produced the film, the Halloween, film. So we went, and I went as the goddess of death. So I wore this red dress, and I had like a tear in my eye, and I feel it's just a beautiful thing to celebrate something we don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Nice. I like to see the creativity, how people go with how they create their looks, what they do, and sometimes people do things and it's spot on, and how they look really resembles how they are as well, and that's something so funny to see. And often people do the totally opposite. Someone is very sweet and they come as this badass villain or something. So it's funny to see how people approach it and get out of their comfort zone. What about you, Holy? How do you celebrate Halloween? Do you do costumes?
I'm gonna agree with you, Jenny, on this. It's just the feeling, the fall feeling, when you see the leaves turn and you get to drink the eggnog and the apple cider and things like that and smell pumpkin. And I don't know if any of you have done this, like baking pumpkin seeds. They are so good sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I say sometimes you just bake them, and But I was kind of thinking to myself though, oh my gosh, Eugenia's, she's basically telling everyone like these crazy Americans, like I'm going back to Russia. No, I'm kidding. When she saw everybody like that, I'm like, what is America? Like, like she's oh my God, and I would be too. Like, what is up with everybody? No, but honestly, in all realness, just the fall feeling is great. The frying pumpkin seeds, the getting, the digging out with your relatives and family, and like lighting up a jack-o'-lantern, all that stuff's cute. I agree with Geoffrey though. It's kind of being blown out of proportion a little bit. The negative energy that it has oftentimes, and it's just very negative. A lot of people. It's just honestly, it's fun. It's fun to dress dramatically into something that you're not in like a character in a movie type of thing. And like it's not fun when people get into it and scare the crap out of somebody type of thing. Just kind of lay off of that, type of thing. Like it can become negative very, very quickly and kind of almost like borderline, a little bit demonic. So I mean it's one of those things where enjoy what you can. Be with your friends, be with your family, enjoy the leaves turning, enjoy the cider, and get out and about, feel the fall breeze, feel the weather dropping and it getting colder, wearing jackets and stuff like that. I mean, have fun, eat candy, whatever. I mean, I really don't have a big opinion on it. I think it's a cool holiday. I love all the holiday season. I mean, I'm kind of a cheerful person in general. So yeah.
Nice. And do you do an outfit? Do you wear a costume with Halloween?
I have. It all depends on the mood that I'm in. If I kind of want to get all dressed up and go all superwoman type of thing, I kind of challenge my inner superwoman at that point, with the shield and everything like that. And yeah, like I said, it just depends. And I like what Eugenia said, man. I'm totally gonna steal her costume too. I love.
Yeah. Nice, good. So you got inspired by Eugenia today. So that's gonna be your inspiration for your outfit for this year. Nice. I also like Halloween, and what I like about Halloween is also not the dark part. I actually have this party that I give every 2 to 3 months. That's called Superstar. That's a party that's a club experience where we challenge your five senses and everything. And the last edition was last Saturday, and the theme was the kickoff of Halloween on another galaxy. And everyone could choose what to wear, a hero or a villain. But we brought the topic in a way that it would not create too much platform for the negative and the dark side of it. We wanted people to be more on the creative, the sexy side, those types of things. And it was so fun to see all the costumes. I was Aquaman. I was dressed up as Aquaman, so that was my costume for last Saturday. So check my Instagram if you want to see it, guys. So you can see the look. And I love dressing up. I do at least 3 costumes for Halloween season. I'm thinking about my costumes for next weekend because I don't know yet what I'll be wearing. Maybe we and my friends are going as a football team. So some of it will be the football, some will be the cheerleaders, and everything. So it's going to be the whole bring it on movie shebang all out there. So yes, so we take it very seriously, the costume. We love dressing up. So yes, Halloween season for us over here in the Netherlands is also a big thing, and also very inspired by you guys, because we didn't back in the days, we didn't celebrate Halloween do well. Because now we have seen it, we have tasted how you Americans celebrate Halloween, and we do. It's getting very big over here, and very nice to see that it's a holiday that goes around the world also. So thank you for that. Yes, and with that being said, we are getting to the end of the show already, guys. We have been talking for almost an hour. I want to thank you guys for your wisdom. I want to thank you guys for your energy and your personality, because you brought in everything that was needed to be said throughout the topics that we have discussed today. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I'm
Yes.
wishing love and kindness
Yes.
to everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Happy
Happy
Monday.
Halloween.
Yes, and for all the people out there, I want to get out with the last message. Take care of yourself and take care of others. Be loving towards each other, and let a problem not be a problem, but look at the solution, and look at the solution from a love side. With that being said, thank you to my co-host, and see you all next time. Ciao.
Sure.